come out. It's Wednesday, and I'm almost on time. My name is AC. This is Dank RC's Wednesday Workshop, and here we are, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time, USA, from the greater Manhattan, Kansas Metroplex. We're going to work on the Tiny Trainer today. Very exciting. Very exciting, I know, right? We are resurrecting. Actually, we could have rehabilitated this one. And I was almost thinking of, like, doing this too. I'm saving this because this can be rehabilitated. Because, look, all it needs is that much. You could actually cut this piece and then just slice it and mend it in there, and it would work. And so we'll probably do that in the future. Maybe. Okay, in the meantime, I was just noticing that this doesn't seem to be at a right angle, first of all. Before I say anything else about the world or anything, I just want to check to make sure that we're not going to have to add this to our list of things. I think it's at a right angle, a 90-degree angle. I need to stop the jittering. Point the camera up a little bit. There seems to be a problem with my camera arrangement today, and the camera is way closer. So, give me a second here. We're going to move something around. I'm going to put the light down a little bit so I can move it, because I have it shoved way up against the ceiling. I'll put it back there. And then I'm going to turn this way, like that. And put this back here, like that. Is that any different? Yeah, it's a little different. That way you can see the whole table. Okay, and then we'll move the light up. Sorry, very unprofessional. Very, very unprofessional indeed. Welcome, Robert. Oh! Black screen! Because I never switched the camera. Hey, that's cool. You missed out on all the confabulation. Thank you, Robert. Well, we don't want a black screen here. Thank you. So, yeah. I wasn't even paying attention. Okay. I always screw up something. We must have a technical difficulty. Last week, we were having, I don't even want to get into it, but I will say, I found out what it was. It was, of course, my fault, as everything is that happens to me, or that goes wrong. I had the VPN on, and I think the VPN to work. So when I do certain tasks at work, from here, and my workstation is over there, right there. And this stream, it's my own computer, but it's my work computer. So, and I actually have a new one of my own computer. One of my cubes is going to be my work computer, even though it doesn't own by work. It doesn't matter. It's going to be my work computer, my streaming computer, my coding, experimental computer, whatever. But I do an editing computer, which I'm going to get back into because this thing has a 3080 and it has 64 gigs of RAM and it's loaded. It's loaded up. And this thing that we're streaming on now is a i7 third generation, I would go as far as to say. It's probably a 9 to 10-year-old computer. It probably has a sticker. It does. Let's find out, shall we? It is 9 years old. It is from December 13th, 2014. Manufacture date. So yeah, this computer is, even though it's old school compared to what you can get now, the 4000 series video cards and all that, it is way better. There I am, Robert. Nice to see you. There were 4 people here at one point, amazingly. Oh my God, that's just... Then they were staring at a blank screen. Anyway, so what was I saying? I made one improvement to our studio today, and that is this camera right here, which is got now an extra leg on it, and that looks like this now. So it's still, so what the deal is, you can see it over here. It's a bunch of goosenecks from Amazon. And I learned about these things because I had to do, when COVID came, I had to set up a bunch of Zoom cameras, and I bought a bunch of these for work, which are still installed all over the place at work. And I was like, man, these are cool. I ought to get one for myself. And I thought I should get a big, long one, but I could never find one the right size. So I just ordered the same ones that I ordered for work. And I order them like every once in a while. And finally, I ordered yet another one. So now I have 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. And anyway, this thing, I can't scooch it too much over here still because I'm still going to have to move the whole thing a little bit, which I didn't do before the stream started. I was planning on it, but I just didn't get it done because it's still not centered where I want it. I want it more over here, but anyway, it's the same view as what I'm looking at. So when I'm looking at something like this, this is what I see, this is what you see. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we are, speaking of what I see, going to take this and we're going to copy, before we get much farther into this, we're going to copy the reinforcements that we're going to put. So here, I didn't even have the right camera on, for Christ's sake. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm looking at the wrong screen. I'm looking at the screen backwards. What else technically is going to go wrong today? I don't know how to stream. That's the problem here. I'm looking at, I have a view here, and I have a preview of what will be next when I hit the switch button, and I have what's going out to you guys. And when I was looking at it in my brain, I had them reversed, and I had the program mixed up with the preview. Anyway, this I want moved over that way more, so it's centered that I have more room at the end of the table to do the work. So when I guess I was pointing at this, that's why I switched the camera. Yeah, I just never switched it back. So when we have a view like this, and then I'm thinking, I haven't tested this, but let's test it out. Let's say I want to work on this, Here, I'm going to work on this part right there. Can I just zoom in? See, now watch what happens. When I let go, it's going to die. It's going to dip. It's moving just a little bit. Oh, maybe it's not. Is it not moving? Okay, it's not moving. Anyway, there we go. So I can scooch it around. I have a little bit more focus. I have a little bit more. I'm reading your comment here. I think I have a gaming computer because I have to play with it every time I want to get it to work. Every time I want to get it to work. Yeah, well, I think my gaming computer, I have two, so I have two of these cubes, and they're perfectly fine. Yeah, I love to play with them. Yeah, and then I have this old clunker, and the old clunker does most of the work that I do here. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, okay, so Robert and other people, welcome. Like I said, I'm AC. This is Dank RC. We didn't have the camera on before. My glasses are still a little dirty, even though I cleaned them. I'm sure, I don't know if I cleaned them when the camera was on or off, but I did clean them. We're going to do it again. I got the glue gun going. And today, I don't have any news, really. I've been watching the reviews of the new jumper radio, the T20, whatever it is, the ELRS one. Very interesting. I'm very happy that jumper's back in the game. Competition, it's always good, right? It's always good. Let the marketplace really be a marketplace instead of something that's controlled by interests that are not ours. Okay, I won't rant though. So what was I going to say? So interesting. What is the other news here in the United States? The RFID remote, or not RFID, the remote ID takes effect in what, 3 days? September 13th. So 3 days, September 16th. So yeah, I won't be commenting on that any further, but you won't be seeing me put any remote ID items into my thing. I did find out Andy announced, or somebody announced at the club, and I'm sure they all worked on it. I didn't do anything, of course, but the FRIA has been approved for our club. Whoopee, woo! So happy days there. I mean, I shouldn't say whoopee sarcastically. It is a good thing. It would not have been good if they were not approved. That would have been sad times. But let's face it, that's not my favorite place to fly. And I kind of just envision flying other places. So, anyway, what are the first things we're going to do with this? I don't have any news. That's basically it. I was going to say something else, but it has escaped me now. And yuck on the T20. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. I haven't really dived deep into it, but yeah. I will say that, oh, we're on the wrong camera again. Of course we are. I will say that I just think there should be competition. So if Jumper's back in the game, they're going to be putting out new products. I'm happy. If they all suck, it's not so great, but you know. Okay, so one thing we're going to reinforce is this little place where I didn't mend to bend it right there. So we're going to get some stuff out here. I should have prepared beforehand, but you know me. We have a box of doohickeys, so we need a couple of these. I think these are the same as these guys here. They are indeed. So let's get some good specimens, shall we? That one is pitiful. But, you know, they're all going to be bent and not straight. That one's pretty good right there. That one's better than the other one. So this is the bent one. We'll get rid of it. We'll put that one back. Okay, so, and then we're going to need some little guys like these little guys. Yeah, I've got lots of these everywhere. So we'll have a couple of these just here out. So I don't need that many. Get like 4 or 5 out. Okay, Paul. Hey, Paul. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not doing the, I keep calling it RFID. I'm not doing the remote ID. I don't like RFID, but sometimes it's kind of handy. I use it at work sometimes for things. But yeah, not a big fan of all this remote tracking stuff. Not a fan. Do not recommend. Do not recommend. So we're going to just put one little piece right like that. Where's the glue gun? I've got the glue gun already. I got a new tip on there. Ooh, it's got a little droppy on there. I got a new tip thanks to a box that Andy gave me. Friend of the show. Friend of the channel, I should say. And the show. He gave me a box with miscellaneous things. And one of those things was this glue gun head. And I put it on my glue gun. I took the old one off, and it's way better. So, yeah, cool. Okay, so we're going to glue this down. Oh, can we have it on the overhead camera? Our new overhead camera location? What this guy's up to? Nothing good. I'm being probably a dork. Just going to build a tiny trainer because I broke the one and I don't have much line of sight planes and I need to fly line of sight. So that's what I'm up to in the short quickie thing. So I'm happy to explain. Okay, so we're going to go onto this camera. And we'll glue this joint right here that I did not mean to put a crease in. So we'll just put some glue on. This is not rocket science here. I know the glue's nice and hot because it's been sitting there for a while. And we'll just move it around a little, burn my fingers, and also take the extra off. Okay, now that I've done that, I feel safer in practicing. Oh, then I want to kind of get a feel for where we're going to put the these guys, right? So the way this gets bent up into shape, we need to make sure that we don't put it too high, because if it's, see the side goes all the way to the top, but this thing, so we need a thickness of foam minimum right there below. So what we want to do is span this section where the hatch is going to be, kind of like that. That's what we're doing. And that is kind of like this. We can actually measure exactly out and do the exact same. I don't know, can you see all that? Is that making sense? Oh yeah, you can. So we're going to make a little pencil mark. That's close enough right there. So we'll make a pencil mark there, and we'll use our square to transfer it over to here. Is that on the screen still? Sort of. See, I still have to move this camera. I want it more in the center of this table. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so that means that we're going to glue one here approximately, and we're going to glue another one here approximately. So what next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure 5 millimeters down plus a couple, and we're going to draw a line as our top line. So 5, we'll say 7 millimeters. And I'm going to go down here a little ways and 7 millimeters. And then we'll take our little piece of wood. That doesn't look the same. No, that was 12. That wasn't even, that's not 7. There we go. There we go. Jeez, am I blind or what? Yes, don't answer that question. Okay, so then we're going to kind of just draw a little line right there. And we'll do the same over here. I've glued these in a bad spot a few times, so I don't want to mess it up. I didn't really make sure this was clean. What's the diff with the glue gun tip? Well, the glue gun tip, I will tell you. Let's go onto this camera right here. So maybe I don't know how to use this camera yet. Let me go over here so I can see what I'm doing. So, oh dear, this is not okay. So this my last tip was basically like this part, just back from the gun to this part, and this little extension that kind of gives you a precision tip, and it just lets the glue out smoother and more accurate, and I can get into more spaces if I can keep the glue under the camera, glue gun under the camera. So, and then the other thing is that this whole tip, I had been using it for about 3 years, and it was covered with black goop of just, I kept trying to scrape it off, and it was just a mess. So yeah, this glue gun tip is much more, it's got this extra bit, like I said, and it's just much more precision with this kind of a tip. So I like it. And I do have a fancier glue gun even, but it's brand new and I haven't even opened it. I mean, I've opened it, but I haven't ever used it, which is kind of stupid. So let's check this again. That is going to cover that. Okay, we want to cover this hatch area, because that's where, this is basically the wing reinforcement because the flight test wing goes over this. Oh, you can't see it like that. Let's go this way. Flight test wing, and then there's just barbecue skewers go through those holes. So this wood reinforces the hatch area, and it focus, and it reinforces the oh my god, it's so out of focus. One of these days, you guys, I'll get a new camera. That's better. And it reinforces the wing mount holes. So that's the purpose, and it's just popsicle sticks, so it's not very good. Okay, this is why it takes me forever, because I yap. I'm sorry I keep yapping, but that's how we keep this from being not totally like watching grass grow. A little bit, but not exactly. So we're just going to draw a quick line like that. I hope I did it straight this time for the most part. Okay, so now I know I'm not going to screw up like I'm afraid I'm going to put it in the wrong place. That's all. That's all I'm doing. And we'll just quickly put some glue on here and get it. We don't even have to get it exactly. It cools off pretty quick, but we can just scooch it around a little. Okay, we got that one in. It's hot. A cornucopia of content. I know, that is so not true. But anyway, yeah, this should be a fairly straightforward, easy, bare bones plane. And the purpose of it, like I said, is for me to have something to fly line of sight with, that I can get back into line of sight flying without ruining something that like my Tundra. Okay, that is about where I want it. Got a little extra glue right here. So, the next step is the hardest step of this whole build. And that is to glue these long joints and get it together. And it's not really that hard, except I always screw it up and I always burn my hands. So we're going to just show what's going to happen here, because I'm going to try to learn what's going to happen. So the reason they designed, the flight test designed the tiny trainer the way they did was so you didn't have to do these long joints. You had two separate fuselage pieces, I think. That might have been one of the reasons. So basically, we have to do this joint first. Between these two joints, it probably really doesn't matter, but this joint first. This joint first. So you go here, like that. So you end up with that. That's that side. Of course, at our 90-degree angle. Then we're going to do this one. Make sure we get this piece in there and glue it like so. Then we'll have the fuselage basically built, and then we flop the top down. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the part, believe it or not, that I usually screw up on, because you can do it one of two ways. And if you do, sometimes I just end up like, I don't know how I did it, but I've just screwed it up. And then you have to cut the whole thing all over again. I know it's only $1 plus a couple popsicle sticks and a few strips of tape. It's not the cost, it's the time. But you know, I've done it like 10 times, and I've probably screwed it up like 10 times and got like 5 good fuselages out of it. So let's start. Let me stop babbling, and this is so many little, I feel little crumbs. Okay. So we're going to do this joint first, back to here. So what I'm going to do is have these squares ready. I'm going to have some pieces of foam board ready so I can scrape up the extra glue. I'm going to hopefully, what I want to do is probably do it this way. You know what? I got to move some of this crap. Let's move all this other crap out of the way. So I don't screw it up. Yes, I know, it doesn't dry. It cools. It cools. It cools. It kind of seems probably like it dries because it's kind of liquidy when it, you know. But yes, obviously. Hot glue, though, I gotta say. Hot glue, back to this camera. Hot glue is freaking awesome. I mean, that stuff works miracles. I mean, even for, I don't know, it's like kind of like duct tape. You can use it for things that you probably didn't think you could use it for, especially in a pinch. So you can use it to, I'll give you an example. I'll give you one quick example. I have a vacuum. It's not down here, but they seal, like it had these clamps that sealed the one part to the other. And if they didn't clamp tight, then they would cause a leak in the vacuum, and of course any leaks in a vacuum, and the vacuum doesn't work as good. Well, the clamps were just like not clamping as good as they used to, because it's all plastic crap these days, right? So what I did is where the clamps down to, I just like put a bead of hot glue on the top of that on each side, and it's perfect because the hot glue is kind of like a little bit grippy, and it adds a little extra space, and you clamp those clamps and poof, and it's just like a thing, like, you know what, I mean, who would have thought of that? You know, who would have advertised hot glue could do something like that? But yeah, it can. And then when that little piece of hot glue strip falls off, like after a year or something, you just do it again. It's awesome. Okay. Sorry, that's my unrant for today. My unrant. Unless you go out to the field on a 118-degree day and your plane falls apart. Yeah. Well, it's what the worst part is you can't leave your flight test planes in the car. You cannot leave your flight test planes in the car on a 118-degree day. That is for sure. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, so what I should do here, if I really wanted to help myself out, is I'm going to do this. It has to go like that, right? And that will help me, at least for a second, while I grab it, while I measure. That will help keep it there. Okay, so we're going to stick it. You can't see that part. It's off camera. Oh, you barely can. There it is, right at the edge. Okay, so let's not move this thing. Let's test it out again. How does that look? Oh, it's perfect. So then we're going to have the right angle thing ready. So I'll just go like this, kind of like up here. And I'll be ready to do it. To hold it square. Whoops, I've already moved it. See, don't do that. Okay, so here we go. Why am I blabbing so much? Let's just do it. Let's talk about this precision tip now. Oh, screwed it up. Doesn't matter. We'll get it later. Okay, we're just going to go like that. And we're going to get this part cleaned up. Oh, and just knock my triangle off the table. And now we're going to hold it square and hold it down here. And we're just going to hold it patiently. I'm not going to do anything else but sit here and hold it. And count the seconds, the minutes, the hours. And it does take about a minute. This glue is super hot. I mean, the AdTech gun, the cheapo Pro 80 gun that I'm using here is a very high temperature, and it's not controlled very well. Yeah, hot glue holds better in the winter than it does on a hot summer day. Probably if you're in Arizona this summer, probably best to keep your flight test planes in the air-conditioned house that you probably have in Arizona, because if you don't have an air-conditioned house in Arizona, you'd probably be dead, unless you're way up in the mountains somewhere. Okay, I think I've held it for long enough now. So now I'm going to let it go. And we're going to inspect if I screwed it up or not. Oh, and I did, totally. Look at that. See? I didn't look at it. You can't see. You probably can't see that. I totally screwed it up. And you know what? We're going to undo that part. We're going to undo it. Hold on. We're going to get the pipet out. And we are going to undo that. This will probably ruin the whole plane, but not really. We're going to undo it. Oh, I didn't even get any. We're trying to get some. There's a little bit of alcohol. We're going to get it in there. And we're going to cut this apart. Watch as I destroy it. Okay, we're going to get a little bit more. It'll be okay. There's hardly any water in this. All right, here we go. Give me a piece of wood. Almost. Like I said, this is for basically, okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of a assist with some razor blade action. And then that's good enough actually. So now we're just going to let that dry. We're going to get the other side. And then now we're going to get this first. We're going to wait. We're going to fan this a little. Fan my mistake away. It's not that bad. We'll live through it. Alcohol releases hot glue. Yes. Yes, it does. Alcohol releases hot glue. It does a fabulous job of releasing hot glue. The lower the quality of the hot glue, the easier it is. But this hot glue that I use is it's my favorite hot glue, which is the AdTech Industrial High Strength. And I managed to find a 5-pound. Okay, that's good enough. So we are going to re-glue this intersection here. And I'm going to try to push this apart, and I hope you can see what I'm doing. Being a dork. And then we're going to hold it together, and I'm going to use some additional pressure here to keep it from doing that. So there, I'm going to hold it like that. And I'm going to get this off of there. Check it again. Looks way better. We're going to put some extra reinforcing glue on the inside of this joint. Since I screwed it up with alcohol in one spot on the part that I haven't taken apart. I'll show you in a second. So that isn't perfect, but it's way better than it was. What I should do, if I really wanted to make these, and I love these planes, is make a little form with my 3D printer to hold the back of this while I glue it. Or make one with foam board, or make one out of wood or something. Okay, so now we're going to just put a little bit of extra glue along here. Just a little bit more right there. Just because I screwed that joint up pretty bad. But as you can see, except for these two little creases here, and believe me, after I fly this plane one time, it's going to have these creases all over the place. The first time I land it probably, so it doesn't really matter. It's Dollar Tree foam board. Yeah, good info. I know. When I first learned that alcohol released hot glue, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It changed my life. Because like hot glue, like I said, I use it for, it's so awesome. Hot glue is awesome. It's just awesome. And the fact that you can undo hot glue is also awesome. I mean, it's not always, I mean, alcohol isn't a solution. I mean, it's not going to fix everything, but yeah. Okay, we're going to move on. Let's just check our angle here to make sure it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Okay, we're going to do the second joint. And this joint, when we do the squaring, we're going to square it with the ground. So I think what I need to do is get 3 pieces of foam board again. And let's see if I can... Here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to prepare a little thing. So let's just see here. If I made something kind of like that had one. Yeah. Okay, we're going to glue this piece here. This is the chintziest little thing. You'll see in a second. I'm going to glue that piece to that piece. And we're going to glue it down so it's like at an angle. Here, we'll switch cameras over to here. Yeah, we're making a quick little jig here to help me hold this so I don't totally screw it up. Okay, then we're going to check out this. And if I put this right there, it is freaking perfect. So that means that I need to put a little edge on it. Where's my pencil? Right along there. So we're going to put this, we're going to glue this little piece right here. Like so. And then we're going to clean up that bit of glue right there. And then we have our little jig. Then all I have to do is take a piece of masking tape, tape it down to this. Now we're going to tape this down to here, like so. Then I can, oh, and then tape it at the other end too, of course, like so. Then we're going to just stick it right on there. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Okay, so I just stick it like that. And then I can do it. And let me just pick it up and see how it looks. Just about perfect. Okay, that's my thing. So I can get it a little bit away from there. We can start down here. Am I ready? Where's my triangles? Triangle. Triangle. Where's my scrapers? Got some more scrapers. Scrapers. Scrappers. Here's some more. Okay. Here we go. We're going to go. Right. I should change my glasses too. You guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, are we on the right camera view? I have no idea. Okay, I can sort of see better with these glasses. So we're almost ready. Here we go. Nope, we're going to clean this tip off first. Let's get it all. There we go. Here we go. Okay, and then we're going to do this. Pinch it up against there. And then I'm going to hold the right angled triangle over here and do all these things at the same time. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I hope I probably got my big fat bald head in the way. But that's okay. And then we're going to use this to get that extra glue out of there. Okay, and then just hold it. I think it's good. It looks good. Except for the right angle. Let's get that right angle in there set. Okay, so now we're just going to hold it here for a minute. I probably didn't check the front if it was all the way down in the groove. I was too concentrated on the back, so it might be a little out of square on the front. We'll see. That's why they don't design it this way. It's kind of a pain to glue this entire length. Well, it's a pain if you're not so great at it. And even though I've been building these damn planes forever and a day, I'm just not going to say that I'm that great at it. Because I make a lot of mistakes. But it turned out pretty good. The tail section is where I'm most concerned about it being El Crapo. This part just kind of shapes itself once you put it all together. So the only things we have to make sure that we do before we close it all up is make sure we puncture through. I've done it on the top for the top hatch. Now I need to do it on the bottom for there's a battery flap door on the bottom here. So we need to take our our razor like this and make a mark through there. Let's lock that so I don't. There we go. Got it. Okay, so now we have a mark. We know where we are. I don't want to go too far because it's only supposed to be a hatch, not a slice. Okay, this part gets sliced out, but this part does not get sliced out. It just turns into a door. Okay, so now we got to do 2 glue joints along the top and glue it all together without screwing it up. And so what my plan is, let's get my little jig out of the way because we're not going to need that anymore. My plan is to glue it on here, and this is the part where I screw up, and get it shut all the way down and then sit it down onto the top and hold it like this without panicking, burning my fingers, screwing it up. We're going to see if we can do it. It's so simple, it seems like. It's such a simple thing. Just 2 little glue joints, make this little thingy here, no probs. You guys, I have like post-traumatic stress disorder about this because I have screwed it up so many times. So here we go. We've got scrapies. We've got, oh, you know what we don't have is enough glue. Holy crap. This is going to be dangerous because the glue is at the exact wrong spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue on the end of this glue stick. And we're going to try to get it perfectly lined up. And we hope, see what often happens is if you don't get it perfectly lined up and you're spewing out glue, it gets stuck. And then you have to stop your flow and you have to kind of grab it and push it. And you can see that there's a little bit that's spewed out at the top there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this little guy right here. And I'm going to see without burning myself if I can get that off. So I'm just trying to get this little ball of glue that's on the top here, and I've got it mostly. If I could just get it to come a little bit further. There, I got it. That little ball of glue. Okay. I think we're ready. God, I make a big deal out of this, don't I? You guys, don't laugh. I mean, go ahead and laugh. That's what this is for. Fun and entertainment. Okay. And I don't mind entertainment at my expense. I don't care. I'm not so fragile. Okay, I'm going to, for the first half, I'm going to hold it like this. Then I'm going to let it go and set it down, I think, flat on the table. So we're going to go close to the end, and we're going to just go down. Here we go. Keep going. It's doing it. It's feeding. Okay, now we're going to go this way. Here we go. Come on. All right. This is the moment of truth. Off we go. Just like that. And I'm not even going to worry about the spillage. I'm just going to hold it. Just going to give it a quick check. We got good angle. Let's hold it like that. We're good. We didn't screw it up. It's not that, it doesn't look that hard, and it's not. It's just that I don't know what's wrong with me. I've just, like I said, I got this PTSD about it. I know, I don't want to minimize real, that's bad. I shouldn't say that. I have a little bit of anxiety about finishing this correctly because I've often screwed it up. How about that for an answer? Okay, so good on us. We've got a lot done here. Look, it's not even an hour in, and I'm actually working on something. We made some progress. We've got cameras, so you can see what I'm doing, sort of, halfway. Okay, I think it's cooled off. And enough that, so now what we're going to have to do is kind of peel it away because it's going to have stuck where all the glue spewed out, right there. So we're going to be gentle about it. There we go. So this is what I'm talking about. So most of this I can just pull off like that. Then the rest of it I'll hit with the razor blade. So it turned out not too bad. I'm happy. We did a good job, you guys. Thank you. I found that all you have to do is push the tip into the new piece of glue, let it melt, stick them together. You don't need to add new glue because it squishes out everywhere. Yeah, you're probably right. That's a good, excellent point. That's why I do these live streams. So you and Robert can tell me things that I don't know. Oh, your power's back on. You lost your power, dude. That's one of my life projects. Oh, I should change. I'm showing you a picture of a desk. One of my life projects right now. I'm assembling like generator situations in case I don't have power. So I have the generator. It's a dual fuel, so I plan on running on propane. I have one propane tank that's empty, and I'm planning on getting some propane, and I have the cord that comes all the way to the house, the 30 amp cord. I'm planning on building a little enclosure around it. Anyway, got plans. Okay, here we go. We got this. Now what's next? What's next is we have to build our hatches now. Actually, before we do that, let's put in the servos and the... what should we do? Should we put on the hatches first? The hatches are first. Okay, so what we need to do for the hatches, let's go to this camera. We're going to make a little kind of a crease line here, right, or a mark, right there and right there. And that'll tell me that I can only go that far with my razor blade, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut from this point we're going to put the lines right there, right here. We're going to cut from this point forward right along the foam line, the line that I just glued. Yeah. Okay, so I think I probably have to change this blade, but let's see how sharp it is. So we're going to cut from right there. We'll do an initial cut just to feel out the blade. The blade's still pretty sharp. We'll do it in steps. Remember, we're cutting through glue too. Okay, now we're going to cut this one, but I have to turn it around because I'm left-handed. Now we're going to do it here. I want to make sure we're straight. I'm sorry if I get my big fat head in the way in advance. First thing I'm going to do, which is kind of awkward because I'm lefty, we're going to start this cut right there so I don't go too far. And then we're going to just slice it. And now I'm going to just do it by hand. I'm going to do it with our right hand. Now, we'll do it with our left hand. Okay, and we've already put a crease in here, so we're going to just now do that. And we have our battery hatch. So now what we need to do is reinforce this with glue. So we're going to put some glue right on, which camera do I have? Yeah, we're good. I'm going to put some glue right on here. And then we're going to take our little foam and just kind of spread it out like butter. And then I'm just going to take off the excess. And then we're just going to let it cool off for a minute. Okay. We'll cut out the other hatch here. Oh, don't put your finger right on there and mess that all up. We're going to reinforce this with tape. That's what we'll do now while we have it here. So we're going to have some, just a little bit of tape right there. Like so. And I'm going to put it on the other side too. Sorry again if my big fat head got in the way. That's a beauty of having this camera up high. My head's always going to get under it. Big bald head. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Now let's see if our hatch is going to work okay. Yeah. That'll be good. So, now we're going to put some hinge tape on here. We have to let's put the hinge tape on first before I reinforce it with some stuff. Let me find the tape. I don't ever know where it is because I seem to have screwed up my tape drawers. I think this used to be in the middle tape drawer. This is the 3M Blenderm tape, which is amazing. So we're going to just take a little bit of it, like that much. And got some hot glue on there. I don't know, are we under the camera? I think we are. Like that. Got some hot glue on it. Do a little bit more. This hatch takes a lot of abuse, as you could imagine. It's takes the full force of any nose-in landings. I mean, any serious nose-in landings, you got bigger problems than this hatch. But I mean, just like if you're at a slightly nose-down attitude when you land. Does not have landing gear, so we're going to be grass landing. I got good at flying this plane. I mean, not good like the real pilots at the club that I fly at, but I mean, okay. Okay, so now we're going to reinforce the sides of this with glue. I can't forget to do that. Let's put the Blenderm tape away. No, I didn't restock on the good tape yet. And, you know, one of the places I get it is at Walmart. I guess I should just order it on Amazon. Walmart, Amazon, either way, I'm, you know, buying from the giant corporations, which I do every day. So, doesn't matter which one I do. Okay, we're going to put some glue on this edge here to kind of reinforce it a little bit. Give it some power. And we're just going to scrape. Oh, got a little messy there. Just get it all extra. Oh dear. Go away. Got a little extra on there that I didn't mean to. And sorry again for getting my head in the way. Okay, that's good. So we're still good. Let's let it cool off. Then we'll do this side. Let's get some pieces ready. That piece is ready. Oh, this Fiskars. You know what's great about this Fiskars mat? Although I was poo-pooing it last week, is the hot glue plops right off of it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, here we go. We're going to just put some glue right along the edge here again. I'm doing a terrible job. Doing a terrible job. Get that bit over there. And then throw this one away. And just scrape it. There we go. That's good. Okay. Now we have to do the edge, of course. And this edge gets like a thick bead. So here's what we're going to do. We're first going to put a thin bead. And we're going to scrape it off. We're just going to kind of reinforce it, and then we're going to put a thick bead on top of that. And then I also put a thick bead of hot glue all along this edge after I glue in the motor mount, which we will do. We will start moving on to actual plane parts soon. What kind of incredible tape did you buy, Paul? We're always interested in incredible tape here at the Dank RC workshop. I'm sure Robert is too. Okay, okay, we're ready for our thick bead here. So this is this is where this tip has got to be a disadvantage, maybe. We want a clean, thick, consistent bead. And then we're just going to let it cool off just like that. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to do anything to it. Just going to let it sit there. And it's stupid sticky. I know, isn't it great? Oh, you're talking about Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape. Yeah, I have some, maybe I do have Gorilla Tape. I think that black duct tape in there is Gorilla Tape. I will remember your recommendations, because Friday's payday, and I think I'm going to stock up on that tape, because I want to build another one of these. I want to have 2 of them. So, and I need another wing anyway. That wing, the wing has seen better days, so I thought we could fly on that wing, but we should really build a new wing. Okay, so that is probably cooled off somewhat. So we basically have, I'm not going to touch it still because it's still going to be messed up. But we can shut it like that. And now we can go to either the tail or the top hatch. Uh-oh. Have I screwed up the top? No. It's nice and just glue globs everywhere. So for the tail, we have to cut out this groove here. And for the top hatch, we have to cut out 2 lines here. So I guess we will start with the easiest ones, which is this one, the top hatch. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have a nice line to go by. Maybe this pen will work. And then go back over to here. And do another line. Like so. Glue globs everywhere. Okay. We don't need ones for the back. We've got that covered. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold our little ruler there, And we'll make our first, oh, sorry for getting my head in the way. I can feel my head hitting the camera. We'll just do some score cuts first. This plane it's so therapeutic to build these things, you guys. I can't. I just don't. I just love it. I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. But I really like doing this. And I'm glad that I've got this stream, because I probably wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd probably be working or something on the stupid websites that I need to build, or the database things that I need to do, or the crazy backup thing that I need to fix tomorrow, or something. I would do something that wouldn't be this therapeutic. So thank you for joining me. I have a sandblast planing company, and I go through boxes of Gorilla duct tape. Oh yeah, I'm sure you have to, and you probably have big rolls of plastic, that lovely thick plastic that you can use to cover up stuff. I'm into plastic, you guys. As crazy as that sounds. Okay, now we're going to do this cut. This cut is a little less straightforward. We want to get it about a thickness of foam. We want to have it square. And we don't have any real lines or markings to go on. What we could do is measure about 5 millimeters in, but I'm just using this foam. So then I'm just going to do a quick score cut, and then I can move the ruler. But now I'm realizing it's going to be time to change the blade. It's time to change the blade. See, I didn't even get the score cut all the way across. So we're going to change the blade. Yes, Arturo. I like your name. My name happens to be the same. Yes, I use foam board to make my planes. This here is the beginnings of a plane, but I can show you a finished plane, like this one right here. This is foam board. It's like almost all foam board. It has a few 3D printed parts, but it's Dollar Tree foam board. Folded, scored, cut, hot glued, and covered with packing tape. That's basically it. Oh, I just had the wrong camera. Okay, this is the plane I was showing. It's all foam board except for a few 3D printed parts. Dollar Tree foam board, scored, cut, covered with packing tape. Scored, cut, glued, covered with packing tape. This plane here is a flight test spear. So basically, I downloaded the pattern from Flight Test. Like every plane that I've built from Flight Test, it's not exactly according to the pattern, but that's a longer story. So you download the pattern from Flight Test. You can cut it. You have to cut it out onto the foam board. What is another example? So this is just a piece of foam board that's almost ready to be, it's got the score cuts in it. So now I need to cover it with tape on the outside, and then I'm going to fold it up. It's going to be part of the next project. I think the next project that we're going to work on this channel. Okay, sorry for that interruption, folks, but you know I always like to answer the questions that are brought to me by people joining and asking me questions. Since I do such a terrible job at social media, I do a terrible job at the comments on my videos. I'm a terrible, even though somehow this subscription numbers slowly keep creeping up. Very slowly, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I got 226, I think, this week or somewhere around there. Okay. is Flight Test going to survive if they are forced to use remote ID? I think they don't, unless they sell completed planes. Like people like, what is the Horizon Hobby? Now they're going to be in trouble. They don't necessarily going to be in trouble, but they're going to have they have to have remote ID on their airplanes that they sell here, I think, unless they found a way to get around it. Oh, we're going to have to fix that. So, I think the answer to that question is no. I think Flight Test is going to be A-OK, and I bet you they get a FRIA at their golf course, the Flight Test place that they've got in Ohio, and I bet you they sell these kits like wildfire, because you will not need remote ID, and you can, anybody can build one of these guys. That is the beautiful thing. Anybody can build one. You don't need and oh, the only rant I have today, I know I always have a rant. I'm not going to go on a long rant, but it is harder now in the United States, as of 3 days from now, to own and operate this foam board plane. It is more regulatorily onerous, if that's a term, to own and operate this little foam board plane than it is to own and operate a 250-pound ultralight airplane that you sit in as a human with a gas engine on the back and that you fly in up there with the other airplanes. You can do that without any license whatsoever. You don't have to register with the FAA. You don't have to have a driver's license. You do not have to have insurance. You don't have to have anything. Go figure. But here, now we've got a situation here where this little foam board plane, you have to have a license, you have to have a registered, you have to have a remote device, a tracking device, a GPS unit, a GPS unit on your radio, because it's supposed to tell you where the operator is too. Let's go onto this camera now. I will not be complying with that. I will not comply. This channel is not monetized. I do not have to have a Part 107. I do not do any commercial work. The sad thing is that we won't be able to publish videos anymore of us flying unless it's inside of a FRIA. And then if that, it can't be FPV, because that's technically in violation too. The thing is about all this is that I've already been in violation. I've already been breaking the rules this whole time. This not maybe when I fly a tiny trainer like this plane, but all the time that I've been flying FPV. All the time that I've been flying FPV. All the time that I've had the INAV planes in the air. Every second the INAV plane's in the air, I've been violating the law. So, what am I going to do? They've already made it impossible for me to operate stuff. Okay. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I've been blabbing. I think I'm making a hatch. Not a hatch, I'm making a hole. I don't want a hatch here, I want a hole. The hole is where the wing, this is like the wing, I call it the wing saddle. Goes over the top of this. There we go. So now we've got that. Now, actually, what I want to do is mark out where the holes go before I put the tail on. because everything's easier to drill and stuff before you put the tail on. So let's think ahead. Let's think ahead. See, what I'm doing here is I'm going to line up the old fuselage with the new fuselage. Actually, yeah, let's do that. And I'm going to just mark one of the two holes, this one over here. So I'm going to mark the front hole. Then I'm going to use the wing mount system to mark the other hole. So I want to make sure I've got it like straight. So basically I'm lining up my old fuselage. Since I have an old fuselage, right, I might as well use it to mark out stuff on the plane that I haven't marked out before because I didn't bother to put them on my plans. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to mark a spot there. Hopefully I've done that. And why don't I have my poker, my serious poker? Let's find that. It is right in this drawer over here. Aha! The first drawer. Okay, so we're going to take this. Oh, I did that off camera, didn't I? Here's what I did. I'm so dumb. Okay, so we had this lined up with this, basically. Like that. This is what we did. And now we're going to do it again. Nope, we're not. We're just going to use this again. Make sure we're in the same spot. Are we? Yep. Okay. So now I'm going to do this. Okay. Now what I'd like to do is using that hole, I'm going to use the wing mount. And I have one of these without a wing on it somewhere. This part. But I don't know where it is right now. I don't want to go looking for it. So we're just going to, let's switch to this camera here. So we're just going to get this lined up. Maybe. Maybe I can't get it lined up. Why can't I get it lined up? Oh, I remember why. Look at the other fuselage. The other fuselage has a notch. Wherever the hatch is, it's notched down because my wing saddle thing goes into it. So here, we're going to go back. Now we got to do something else. I'm going to go back to this camera. I forgot about that part of the build. Basically what we have to do is go right here. Sorry again if my fat head's getting in the way, but we got to cut this part out. I forgot that's how we do it. So I got it marked here. Here. I guess we don't need the triangle, we just do this. We have a nice sharp blade. At least it was 5 seconds ago. And we'll do it here. So basically we just have to go down the thickness of a foam. Sorry again. Okay, so now we're going to go back on the side. And we're going to get this ruler here. But we're going to make sure that we're one thickness of foam. Like that. That's a little thin. Let's get it a little deeper. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take our razor blade and nice sharp blade. You gotta, oh, I moved it. I moved it. Move the ruler a little bit. It's not really a matter. Okay. So now that I have that score cut, we will finish it off. There we go. That's what we're looking for, I believe. I think it's just one thickness of foam that I have to go down. So let's do that same thing on this side. So we're going to go here. And we have our thickness of foam. And there. There. Just a little bit down. It keeps moving back. That's good. Okay, now that I have the score cut, I can do the real cut. There we go. Okay, now let's see if the wing fits on. And first we have to clean up this a little bit right here. Okay, now let's see if the wing goes on. We will switch to this camera here. Okay, this is the front of the wing. Put that out of the way for a second. Okay, so basically we want to get these wires out of the way for the servos. And we want to get it to snap in there. Sort of snap, but not really snap. It needs to go down all the way. So we might need to cut. Let's see, how far are we off? We're just not even like a millimeter, it seems like. Okay, we're going to cut this a little bit more. We're just going to cut we're going to cut 2 millimeters. Didn't quite cut all the way through, so we're just going to help it along a little bit. We're going to get all this. Okay, I think we're a little bit better. Let's try it now. There we go. So it fits in. That's exactly what we want. Now we are going to mark our holes. I shouldn't have even marked that first mark, but we're going to punch. Use our hole punch. We've got it in place on the fuselage. So now we're going to mark our holes, and that one's going to be kind of difficult because I have 2 holes. The placement of these holes is pretty important. In a second, we're going to drill it out with a real drill, a drill bit, and an electric drill to get this drilled through the... You probably can't even see what I'm doing, but we're making sure that the wing is exactly where it's supposed to be. So basically, I have to drill holes in these locations. Is it really that far forward? Let's look at the other fuselage. Yep, that's exactly right. Lines up. Okay. I'm going to get a drill and a drill bit. Kevin B is in the house. It is not a simple stick. It is a tiny trainer, although it is basically a simple stick. And so once I have the tiny trainer done, yes, Kevin, I'll have 2 line of sight planes that I'm ready to fly. Let's see. I want to fly this weekend. Can we fly this weekend? I want to fly this weekend. Let's fly, dude. Let's fly. I don't necessarily want to fly at the flying club, though. Because I want to fly line of sight and I don't want to crash into the water. I need a drink. Tiny trainer combat would be awesome. We tried a little small, I think one time, so on my previous tiny trainer, or maybe even this tiny trainer, this one here, what's left of it, I used to fly it with streamers hanging off of it on the tail and on the wingtips. And I think Andy cut one of the streamers once with a prop, chasing me. I think it was Andy. I think that really happened. Maybe it was a dream. Okay, here's our fuselage. It is to the point now where we need to drill the holes. That's what we need to do. So pardon me for one moment. And I think I need to go to the boys' room really quick. So just give me 1 second. We'll put it on just over here. Where's my standby? We'll do a standby video for 1 second. I'll be right back. If I can find the standby video. Here, we'll go to this one. And then we'll do a transition. You couldn't hear me because my mic doesn't work on that one. But that was Kevin's plane, I think. And this that starts off at the beginning of this thing. Okay, bye. Bye, Robert. I got prescription inserts for my goggles. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, I'm launching. You might want to back up a couple steps. Okay, land. I'll get out of the way. Oh, shit. Slow down, man. Holy crap. Okay, we're back. We have a drill bit. We have drill bits. We have a drill bit and drill bits. And we have a drill. So, let me get this all. So Robert left us. Robert's a hard working dude, man. I bet you Robert works like, well, Kevin, you're a hard working dude too. Both of you guys work like 10 times as hard as me. I just sit at my computer. I wish I could do some real kick-ass work. Okay, so now what we have to do is pick out one of these drill bits. It's going to be approximately the size that we want. That's a little smaller, but I think it's good enough because all it needs to fit is one of these. And that it will do. So we're going to start with this drill bit, and I have it marked as if this is the one. I have a little mark on my drill index there. The moat of death is the, so our flying field is next to the spillway of a dam. And we had a giant flood, what they call the 100-year flood in 1993. And in 1993, when they had that flood, they had to actually operate the spillway to keep the dam from, you never want to let the water overtop the actual dam, right? Especially an earthen dam, it's all over. And that's what the Tuttle Creek Dam here in Kansas is. So they opened the spillway for the first time, I think, since it had been built. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe they opened the spillway for the first time since it had been built. And the spillway carved this canyon out around where our flying field is. And so the flying field was always on kind of a little plateau, but the area around it wasn't so deadly for planes as it is now. So it carved this canyon out all the way to the spillway. Waters went back to where it rejoined where the river was originally, or what they called the river pond area. So that canyon, that happened in 1993, but now what's left over is we have these pools of water that the Corps of Engineers has let remain there. In fact, they actually moved stuff around to make it into, so it's like, if you go, one of them is like nasty looking water too. It's like green. So there's like 2 or 3 different colors of water, as you can see in the different, anyway. You do not want to go into those places. In the winter when we fly there and you crash, it's kind of okay because it's like if it's been really cold, it's all frozen over, you know. But yeah, you don't want to fly there if you don't know what you're doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. So that's the mode of death. That's the long-ass explanation of the mode of death. Okay, now we are going to drill this out. We're going to double check. We're going to double check, folks. Cut, measure twice, cut once. We're going to double check our wing. We're going to make sure it fits. We're going to make sure I can see the holes that I have marked. And I can already see the error in my ways with this hole. So I'm just going to make sure, no, we're going to mark it better. I'm going to mark that hole with a second mark. Just push on it at least. Okay. So that one I'm going to start with because I know what to do here. Okay, so let's switch back to here. I think, yeah. Okay, we're going to start right. This is very imprecise. There's our first hole. Here's our second hole. Okay. Now we're just going to do the same over here. Now we're going to fix these holes. Just give them a little bit of help. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of cleanup here, because this is a mess. You know how I don't like a big fat mess on my workbench. Let's get all this stuff. All my trash cans are full today. Nope, this one is empty. Okay, hold on a second, folks. There we go. Gotta get past my flight simulator stuff over here. Got a whole Cessna cockpit I'm building right there. It's gonna start getting in the way. Actually, it's not gonna get in the way. It's gonna be totally not in the way, because I'm going to have the lights and the camera over top of it. Okay. Where's the, yeah, here it is. Now we've got to test the wing again. Hope it fits. Oh my gosh, it seems to be a little off. No. It's just not visible. Okay, so now let's get our extremely long barbecue skewer and just kind of shove it through. I gotta get it all the way through. This is what you would have to do on a real flight test plane too. Oh, I can open the hatch, which you couldn't do on the real flight test plane. Okay, and it should come right through there. So that's basically what we've done, is we've created a hole for our mount. And so now we're going to take these guys here. It's very high tech. Take that. We're going to cut it about right there. And this is the crappiest wood to use for this in some respects, because you shouldn't cut it like that unless you have a really sharp cutter, because it leaves little stringies. It left two little stringies there. Okay, so now we're going to go through the other side, and this side's sometimes a little bit more difficult because of the servo thingies, but we seem to be getting through, I think. And you want to kind of make sure that when you're doing that, this is not the permanent job, so it doesn't matter where the wires are. But if you were head wiring your receiver, you'd want to make sure that these wires are not in your way or not going. You're not going to see. That one happens to be right in the wrong place. So I got to get past it, and I got to get in there. Okay, now we got to get it through. And it doesn't seem to be going through. Where's the hole? Oh, it's behind there. See, I thought I was off, and I was actually on the right spot. So now I have to fix that hole a little bit. It was actually on the right spot, and then I moved it to be stupid. Okay, drill. I hope you can get through right here. Now, we're going to have to cut it with a smaller bit and just kind of use a razor blade to make it bigger a little bit. I just need a little tiny bit. Oh, Jesus, I've been on the wrong camera. Oh, now I'm on the wrong camera again. Okay. Let's try this. I don't think I'm making any progress. We're just gonna have to. I was on the wrong camera that whole time. I am so dumb. I don't know how to do this. What I mean by that is the live streaming part. Okay, it's not in all the way because there's a wire in the way. That's the first problem. That's probably why I marked it wrong the second time. Dumb. Okay, let's go start on this side. Let's see. I'm going to have to just kind of bend it out. There we go. This is not a rocket here, folks. Okay, we got through. So now, I'm just going to pull it through. Put the other one in. Here's the first one I did. Do I have the right camera on? I don't know. I can't see from here. Yeah, I do. Okay, come on. Where am I? This one's a little bit off too. Okay. Very high tech this is. Very high tech. So, there we go. We're going to clip it right there. I'm going to get it a little closer to the inside. Maybe it'll be sharper. Maybe it was duller. Doesn't matter. We're going to make new sticks anyway, probably. Okay, I think we can safely move on to the tail now that we've gotten that part done. So, that is how the wing is mounted to the fuselage in my particular design. I do not like rubber bands. I don't know. I just don't like them. I'm not saying I'm never going to use them. I got them on the simple stick. I can show you that plane if you want to see it. Good night, guys. Good night, Arturo. Blizzard, man, what's happening? Welcome. What time is it? It's 10:44, folks. We're 15 minutes away. We still haven't finished this airplane. That's not a shocker. But we're close. Let's see how close we can get. Okay, we did the fuselage. Now what we need to do is we need to reinforce this top part here. Oh, we need to cut out. That was part of my problem. I forgot to cut out for the little screws on the wing. There's just little screw heads that stick down. Which camera am I on? That's good. You won't be able to see this anyway. There's the other one. So we're just going to pick these out. I cut them a little bit. Okay, what we should do, I think, so it actually looks like a plane, is get the tail on. Oh, we got to cut the servo holes for the back. Okay, so that means that I'm all over the place now because I was like, oh, we're going to finish this today. We're not going to finish this today. We got to get these out. So I'm going to take one out at a time, and I'm going to put them in right back where they were so that I don't reverse them or anything like that. So, you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this one out of here, and I'm going to put it into here. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do that? We're going to use alcohol. Where is my little pipette? See, the workbench is starting to get dirty. Messy. Not dirty, but messy. So we're going to use a pipette. We're going to use some 91% alcohol because I still haven't bought my supply of 99% alcohol from Amazon, which who knows if it's really 99. We're going to put a little dabs of alcohol around here, like so. And then I'm going to pull it out. Oh, it comes right out. Look at that. Nice. Now, what we want to do is, here's what we're going to do to make our lives easier. I'm going to line these two planes up. They're lined up pretty close. And I'm going to use this. So we're going to go how far down? About 23 millimeters, would you say? 23 millimeters. We're going to change glasses. 23 millimeters. So, if I get these lined up again, we're going to go 23 millimeters from right about there. So we're going to start, sorry for my head, 23. So that's all we need is our little mark right there and a little mark at 23 going this way. And then I'm going to take our servo and I'm just going to mark the end of it and then this side. I already know where that side is, so now we're going to cut the servo out. I hope this is getting on camera. That's the whole point. I keep screwing up my cameras. Okay, let's get our little straight edge so I can, because I'm not great at this, lining things up so they look nice. There we go. A little bit more like that. And this one. We might end up finishing this plane off stream if I want to get it done to fly with Kevin over the weekend, and Andy if he flies, if he's in town. Okay, there's our servo cutout. Let's see if it fits. I think it's a little too narrow. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, before we stick it in, well, actually it doesn't matter. We're going to turn it over. Turn this one over. Get them lined up. Now this one is 33 millimeters from the top. So all we have to do is go like this. I want it about right there. 33 millimeters. Oh, let's get it lined up. Make sure I'm still lined up. 33 millimeters from the top. It's close enough. I mean, a few millimeters back and forth isn't going to matter that much. 33 millimeters from the top. We're going to put a line right there. And then this way. Right, 33 millimeters from the top. 33 millimeters from the top. Okay, so now we're going to take our, I hope some of this was on camera. Take our servo. Oh, we got to get this servo out of here. I think I've already gotten them out. Nope, let's put a little alcohol on there. Won't take much. I tend to put my servos in very lightly because they don't come out unless you crash. And then if you crash, what difference does it make? So you can see there's not a lot of glue has been used there. Okay. So now we can take this and just kind of mark it out. except I've got the other servo on the other side. So we'll take that one out and put it over there. And put this one back over here. Then we're going to mark our distances with the knife, again, without cutting the servo cable. Got that one. And then that one. Okay, so now all we have to do is take our card and try to make a rectangle. Okay. A lot of glue globs. Glue globs make dents in your plane. So don't let the glue globs stay. That's my advice. Say no to glue globs. We'll get the tail on today. And then, whoops, that was an overcut. I don't like when I overcut. Makes me angry. It doesn't really make me angry. This is very therapeutic. I love doing this. I think I said that already. Okay, there we go. Now, we can put this one back in this side. We can put this one in this side. Let's get that off of there. There we go. There we go. Perfecto. So, we're going to glue them in. So we're just going to put a little glop of glue underneath the little ears right there, and right there. That's it. I'm just going to stick it down like that. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little glop of glue underneath the ears right there and right there. And it kind of goes in the crack between. And this one's got some extra, so I'm going to wipe it off. This one's got a lot of extra. I'll wipe all that off. Whoopsie, got a little messy on that one. Okay, now for the tail. The tail's over here, and the tail survived from the last plane, so we do not have to construct another tail. We did not construct another tail. We're gonna, we have to cut this out. So first let's cut this out. So basically got to cut this slot that's right here, and I marked it already, but I have to have like a ruler of some sort to help me. I don't want to cut it crooked because this is kind of determines how the rudder is going to go, and we have a little extra glue right there that we got to get rid of. See if I can at least peel some of it off where it's going to be in the way. Okay, so I've got a cut down here. You probably can't see it on camera to help me guide. So we're just going to cut right. It's very hard to see, but we're just going to cut right through there. And then we're going to stop and turn this around because I'm a lefty. And we're going to go this way. And we're just going to do a score cut again. Now we're going to do the whole cut. Now that I can see what we're doing. So we're going to just cut through. Cut through again. And then we've got our little doohickey guy right out of there. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, crap. Okay. There's our tail. So we're going to test fit this and see how it goes. And it's going to fit very nicely. So, I think what we'll do is put a little bit of glue. It's kind of hard to get this tail glued in right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue down along here. And then I'm just going to push it up on it. And then I'm going to add some glue at the top. You'll see in a second. So we'll put it along here. Along here. And we're going to take this. We're going to put it in. Just push it on. And just hold it there for a few seconds. Not much is squeezed out. I'm not going to worry about it. Actually, I am. I'm going to grab it really quick. I want to get that, and I'm going to get that. Okay. I'm going to go back to holding it. Now this is definitely a you can see by the end of the tail here that this is my modification and not the flight test, because the flight test comes to a pointier point, which you may think is better because it's more aerodynamic, right? But the problem is that it's easier to bend and break. And that reminds me, now that we've got this whole plane together, let's see if I did it in this tail. No. See where this crease is here? There should be some popsicle sticks. And I know now why I didn't put the popsicle sticks in, because I meant to. I'm going to use this, I think, to finish off my plans and mark out where the servo holes are. That way I can mark out where I can mark out everything, and I can mark out where the little reinforcement. I would like a piece of popsicle stick to go across here and across here on this side too. Okay, so now we're just going to put a little gentle bead of glue that won't even do much because it's tape to tape. But we're going to put some glue along here. Like that. And like that. And then this piece I'm going to get off. Knock that one down. Okay, so that's going to stay there. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to put a little cutout for that. As you can see on this one, we have a little cutout there too. So that now we have a tail on, so it's a little more difficult to cut things. But we're going to cut about there. How big is that one? I only think I need to go where the little plastic hits it. So about right there and right there. So now what we'll do is we will hold it up and we will try to make a nice little curve. I should get my X-Acto knife for this part, but we'll just do it with this. So now that we have that, all we have to do is yank it out with a pointy popsicle stick. Okay, so now we need to cut a little bit more. So let me just slice that paper. Oh, right there. Now it's out of the way. So now it can go all the way, and we'll put our push rods in, control rods in a second. We don't need to do anything with this one. So the tail is on. The wing is on. I think that's what we were going to finish. So the only thing we need to do is the control rods, and they are here. We have 2 control rods. Here's the motor mount, by the way. And that's going to be it. We're going to do this, and then we're going to be done. So which one? This one? This one goes here. Pretty sure. This one is going to go here. So let's get those set up. We need a 1.5 millimeter. Bang, into the camera. Sorry. We're going to get this. This is the fun part here. We got to get that in there. First I want to make sure I've got it clear. Nope. So we got to back out the set screw. Okay. So now we got to get that in there. Get it through. There we go. Now we're going to just get it centered temporarily till we get the radio hooked up. And then what you kind of have to do is it's going to bend, so you need a third hand. Don't have one of those. Okay, I think that's going to be good. This one has got a little bit less tolerance. Oh, and the set screw is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, the set screw is gone. And there's no set screw in here. So that means that I have to go to my toolbox, which is not here. Let's just see if I have... Oh, there it is. I can't believe I found it. That is amazing. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to bring this up a little bit. This one had just a little bit of up trim from what I remember. So we'll put it in with a little bit of up trim. It's probably too much, but it's okay for now. Okay, folks, our tail is done. Our wing is done. The only thing that we have to do is do the motor mount and the radio. The antenna for the radio, I got to figure that out. I'm going to put it in a V shape out the top, I think. So we'll see about that. But that's the radio. You have to get the motor off of here and get it on here. So we'll probably do that on the next live stream next Wednesday, and we'll finish this plane up then. We'll just take a look at it. We're going to switch cameras. It's only, nobody's here anyway. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. Paint dry and grass grow. We're going to have a look at our plane, our tiny trainer, our flight test tiny trainer that we built live on stream. Oh, I got the wing on backwards. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put the wing the front way. The airfoil goes one way. There's the best way for the airfoil. There is our tiny trainer, folks. And it's a magnificent plane. Let's put the motor mount in. The motor mount, just slide. We're not putting it in. We're just gluing it in for temporary. It goes in like that. I believe it goes in like this. I should know. I designed it. There's the motor mount. I designed it. It takes it's like 2 rectangles. There's the motor mount. So we have a battery hatch. We have a single fuselage piece, which is not the same as the regular Tiny Trainer. We have a thicker back end, and we have a 3D printed wing mount. Those are about our... Oh, and the wing is actually 100 millimeters bigger wingspan, this particular wing, than the Tiny Trainer wing. Okay, you guys. Who's ever left, thanks for watching. It's been fun. I'm so glad I'm going to have another plane. I'm really happy about that. And thanks, Kevin. I'm glad you're still here. It says 0, does it? Oh, it says 1. I'm glad you're still here. I hope we fly this weekend. Let's do the group text thing. Let's figure it out. I'm into it. I'd kind of like to fly at the park maybe if we could once, but I don't know. Maybe I can do that by myself too. It's okay. If everybody's going to go to the club, I'll go to the club. But yeah. So actually, we're going to do number 6, and we're going to say, mic is still on. Thank you. Good night. Blizzard, Arturo, Paul, Kevin, Robert. Those are the people that were here today. Good night. Yes, let's fly. Good night, guys.